On the rocky coast of Maine stood an old lighthouse known as Blackstone Lighthouse. For more than 100 years, it had guided ships safely through storms and darkness. But 20 years ago, something strange happened. One stormy night, the lighthouse keeper, Captain Thomas Reed, disappeared without a trace. The next morning, the lighthouse light was still shining, but Captain Reed was gone. No one ever found him. After that, the lighthouse was abandoned. The townspeople began sharing stories. Some claimed they saw a mysterious figure standing at the top of the lighthouse during storms. Others swore they heard footsteps echoing through the empty tower. As years passed, the lighthouse became the town's greatest mystery. Most people avoided it, but not everyone. 14-year-old Jack Carter loved mysteries. He spent hours reading about lost treasures, hidden tunnels, and unsolved disappearances. One afternoon, while walking along the beach with his best friend Emily Parker, he pointed toward the distant lighthouse. "There has to be an explanation for what happened there," Jack said. Emily looked nervous. "Everyone says it's haunted," Jack laughed. "Every mystery has a logical answer." "Then why did Captain Reed disappear?" Jack smiled. "That's exactly what I want to find out." The next day, Jack and Emily visited the town library. An elderly librarian named Mrs. Wilson listened carefully to their questions. "You two are interested in the lighthouse?" she asked. "Very interested," Jack replied. Mrs. Wilson disappeared into a storage room and returned with an old wooden box covered in dust. This belonged to Captain Reed's family. Inside the box were newspaper clippings, maps, photographs, and a worn leather diary. Jack carefully opened it. The diary described daily life at the lighthouse. Most entries were ordinary, but the final pages were different. The handwriting looked rushed. One sentence caught Jack's attention. "Someone is watching the lighthouse." Another read, "I found something beneath the tower." And the final entry said, "If anything happens to me, the truth lies below." Emily looked frightened. "Below what?" Jack's eyes widened. "The lighthouse." 3 days later, dark clouds gathered over the ocean. A storm was approaching. Jack knew it was the perfect time. "Tonight," he told Emily. Emily hesitated. "During a storm?" "That's when the strange lights are usually seen." Reluctantly, she agreed. As night fell, the two friends packed flashlights, ropes, food, and cameras. The wind howled as they made their way toward Blackstone Lighthouse. Thunder rolled across the sea. The massive tower stood against the darkness like a giant shadow. For a moment, both of them felt uneasy. Then they stepped inside. The wooden door groaned as it opened. Dust filled the air. Broken furniture lay scattered across the floor. Every sound echoed through the building. Jack shined his flashlight around. The lighthouse seemed frozen in time. Old books still sat on shelves. A rusted lantern rested on a table. Suddenly, bang! A loud noise echoed from above. Emily jumped. "What was that?" Jack swallowed nervously. "I don't know." Slowly they climbed the spiral staircase. Each step creaked beneath their feet. At the top, they found the source of the noise. A broken window was swinging in the wind. Emily sighed with relief, but Jack noticed something else. Scratched into the wall was a symbol, a strange symbol matching one drawn in Captain Reed's diary. Using clues from the diary, Jack searched the lower level of the lighthouse. Hours passed. Then he discovered something unusual. One section of the floor sounded hollow. Together they moved an old cabinet. Underneath was a metal ring attached to a hidden trapdoor. Their hearts raced. Jack pulled. The trapdoor slowly opened. A cold draft rose from below. Stone stairs disappeared into darkness. Neither spoke for several seconds. Then Jack smiled. "We found it." The underground tunnel stretched deep beneath the coast. Water dripped from the ceiling. Ancient wooden beams supported the walls. As they moved deeper underground, they discovered signs that someone had been there recently. Fresh footprints, a broken flashlight battery, a food wrapper. Emily stared at Jack. "We're not alone." Suddenly, they heard voices ahead. Someone else was in the tunnel. The two friends quickly hid behind a pile of rocks. 3 men carrying lanterns walked past. One of them held an old map. "We're close," he said. "The treasure must be here." Jack and Emily exchanged shocked looks. Treasure? The mystery was becoming even bigger than they imagined. After the men moved on, Jack and Emily continued deeper into the tunnel. Finally, they reached a large underground chamber. Inside stood dozens of wooden crates. Many had pirate markings burned into the wood. Jack opened one. Inside were gold coins, hundreds of them. Another crate contained silver bars. Another contained jewels. Emily gasped. This is incredible. Jack discovered an old document hidden beneath the treasure. It revealed the truth. More than 200 years earlier, pirates had used the lighthouse area as a secret hiding place. They stored stolen treasure beneath the coast. Captain Reed had discovered it years ago, but instead of taking the treasure, he tried to protect it. That was when he disappeared. In another corner of the chamber, Jack found a small locked box. Inside were letters written by Captain Reed. The letters revealed the shocking truth. Captain Reed had learned that treasure hunters were searching for the hidden fortune. He feared they would destroy the town. While trying to stop them, he was captured. He escaped and hid evidence beneath the lighthouse, but before he could expose the criminals, he vanished. The mystery had finally been solved, or so they thought. Then they heard footsteps. The treasure hunters had returned. Chapter 10. The Chase. The three men spotted Jack and Emily. "Get them," one shouted. The children ran through the tunnels. Behind them came the sound of pounding footsteps. The tunnel twisted and turned. At one point, Jack nearly slipped into an underground stream. The treasure hunters were gaining on them. Then Jack noticed an old emergency lever attached to the wall. Without thinking, he pulled it. A massive iron gate crashed down between them and the treasure hunters. The men were trapped. But the danger wasn't over. The storm outside was causing parts of the tunnel to collapse. The entire cave began shaking. Jack and Emily raced toward the exit.
একদিন দাদি তার উঠোনে বসে চা খাচ্ছিল। হঠাৎ করে আকাশ থেকে একটি আহত তোতা পাখি দাদির সামনে পড়ে গেল। দাদি তাড়াতাড়ি তোতা পাখিটিকে কোলে তুলে নিল। এরপর দাদি তোতা পাখির গায়ে ঔষধ লাগিয়ে যত্ন নিতে শুরু করল। কয়েকদিনের মধ্যেই তোতা পাখিটি পুরোপুরি সুস্থ হয়ে উঠল। সুস্থ হওয়ার পর তোতা পাখিটি দাদিকে একটি জাদুর ডিম উপহার দিল। দাদি অবাক হয়ে জাদুর ডিমটি হাতে নিয়ে দেখতে লাগল। তারপর দাদি ডিমটি ঘরের টেবিলের উপর রাখল। সাথে সাথেই পুরো টেবিলটি সোনায় পরিণত হয়ে গেল। সোনার টেবিল দেখে দাদি অনেক খুশি হয়ে গেল। তবুও কেউ তোতা পাখিটির জন্য লাইক দিল না। একদিন দাদি তার উঠোনে বসে চা খাচ্ছিল। হঠাৎ করে আকাশ থেকে একটি আহত তোতা পাখি দাদির সামনে পড়ে গেল। দাদি তাড়াতাড়ি তোতা পাখিটিকে কোলে তুলে নিল। এরপর দাদি তোতা পাখির গায়ে ঔষধ লাগিয়ে যত্ন নিতে শুরু করল। কয়েকদিনের মধ্যেই তোতা পাখিটি পুরোপুরি সুস্থ হয়ে উঠল। সুস্থ হওয়ার পর তোতা পাখিটি দাদিকে একটি জাদুর ডিম উপহার দিল। দাদি অবাক হয়ে জাদুর ডিমটি হাতে নিয়ে দেখতে লাগল। তারপর দাদি ডিমটি ঘরের টেবিলের উপর রাখল। সাথে সাথেই পুরো টেবিলটি সোনায় পরিণত হয়ে গেল। সোনার টেবিল দেখে দাদি অনেক খুশি হয়ে গেল। তবুও কেউ তোতা পাখিটির জন্য লাইক দিল না।